So this past weekend, I went back to Pennsylvania to surprise my mom for her 60th birthday. Was really happy 100 Thieves was not playing a series this weekend, but it was a fun day. A bunch of family came in from around the world, and I randomly got a message at I think it was like 3 p.m. on Saturday from LTA Commissioner Mark Z saying, hey, no, I'm a little bit late for this, but you want to vote in All-Pro? And I thought for the longest time, like, I'm not getting to vote this particular time. If you don't know, I've gotten to vote for All-Pro for, I think, like the last 2 years, give or take. And after I watched the dive this past week, I was like, oh, okay, I'm finally not going to be able to vote. There was a change in how you filled out interviews for the LTA this year, which was notably like team affiliated, press, and then like influencer. So I've started filling out the influencer side of it because that's kind of what I want to be known as in the space, not necessarily press and media, even though I do kind of like operate in that weird gray area. So I just assumed I wasn't going to get it. And then I got the text from Mark saying like, hey, you want to vote? And then I looked at the form and I was like, no, I'm apparently still media, I guess. But yeah, we got the vote in All-Pro, and I'm sure by now the awards are actually out because the dive's announcing them on Thursday. You're not surprised by the results, but I'll talk about my ballot, as well as the upcoming week's matches, and so much more on this week's episode of
Into the pit! Into the pit! Everyone get in here!
I actually need to pull my submission back up for All-Pro because it's been like 3 days since I filled this out. Notably, I did do it live on stream. Because everybody else had talked about their ballots already, I figured it was okay to do on stream. Like if the dive and everybody there is allowed to like openly discuss everything and, talk about their submissions and who they put, figured I should be allowed to do that as well. Top lane, I don't think will be a surprise to many. I think most people have Blippo and Thanatos and some combination of that in 1-2. Personally, I put Blippo over Thanatos. I think C9 in general was just a massive like team diff for people, whereas FlyQuest I do believe was hard carried by topside in the split. By topside, I mean like top jungle mid. So for topside, Blippo, Thanatos, I did put Fudge at third. When I was going through the other options, I'm looking at like, it's obviously not Sniper, it's not Surdy, it's not Castle. Impact had one of his worst splits ever. I mean, even though like your past performance does not technically matter when it comes to All-Pro, all that matters is your individual games. He didn't really make that much of an impact for Team Liquid and was actively costing them games, like losing when he's playing split pushers and he's going down CS and not putting the pressure that he needs to on the map. Yeah, it was a weird split for Impact. So for him to go from MVP last year to not even on my All-Pro ballot, I'd be surprised if he won it at all. Weird one for him. Jungle, I think, is pretty clear-cut. Inspired, Blabber, Contracts. I think you could make an argument for River up there. Maybe this is going to be one of those times where, yes, I try to pull out my 100 Thieves bias as much as I can in moments like this. And for those that are questioning, because I guess I'll nip this one in the butt now, so there are always people that are like, you actively voice, like, commentary for 100 Thieves and are loudly in support of them. Yes, and I try to do my best to be objective and third party whenever it comes to these media ballots. All of us that are in media have our teams. I know every single person that gets a media ballot has a team that they pull for and talk about extensively on that level. It is our job to then be able to objectively look back and try and be as unbiased as possible when voting for these awards, even though there will naturally be bias there, and you have to acknowledge that it will kind of be laced there, but you do your best to nullify it. I don't ever believe anybody that's like, oh, I'm completely unbiased and fair, and it's like, no, I will never believe that to my dying breath. We are all sports fans at the end of the day. Your bias is within. It's just a matter of how you acknowledge it and act upon it. But I didn't include River on this list because I think there were many games where River would have one-off deaths before major objectives, which cost 100 Thieves series, quite frankly. Like their loss to Shopify Rebellion was a combination of Sniper and River quite literally just getting caught out over and over and again. There's no other jungler that I looked at across the league that I thought honestly like really deserved to be up here. Umti got swapped out for Yuji towards the end. I mean, I think TL's situation is pretty clear cut. Not Shaden, not XU, not Odie. This one's pretty dry. Mid lane, this one might be a little bit contentious for some people, but personally, I thought Quid was by far and away the best mid laner. He performed incredibly well this entire split. Even when his team was faltering, it felt like Quid was the one shining light on that team and was playing insanely well. Yes, did he have moments where he would go down and get picked off? Yeah, but when your entire team is collapsing around you and you're still performing at the level that he was, yeah, that's first team All-Pro and arguably MVP worthy. Quad and Loki right behind them. When I look at Quad, whenever I'm looking at like FlyQuest in general, I think Inspired is really the engine behind this team. And there are times where Blippo and Quad would trade off in terms of their like high impact versus hey, I'm along for the ride, but I'm getting the job done still. I don't think there's going to be anybody in the league that doesn't have some combination of quid and quad at 1-2. I'd be absolutely shocked if it was anything besides that, unless they're affiliated with a team and they can't, obviously. ADC is going to be an interesting one and probably the most contentious point of my ballot because I put Sven 1, I put Yawn 2, and FBI at 3. Again, the two shining lights of 100 Thieves, despite them not playing great this split, were FBI and were quid. Sven and Yawn, I think it's uncontested. Masu, I know some people will be surprised that he's not here. Masu felt like he got caught out a lot more than normal. It felt like he never really got the chance to have these pop-off moments, and I don't fully believe that's his fault. I think it's also by nature of everybody else on his team playing insanely well. At some point, you just take the back seat and like you're not the star in that individual moment, and he just wasn't. Like, he's on a phenomenal team, but I wouldn't sit here and say that Masu had a better split than Sven, who was leading the league in KDA. I don't know if he finished it there. I haven't checked the stats. Yawn, I mean, everybody's been asking for Yawn to get a team on Team Liquid at this point. And FBI's FBI. He's Mr. Consistent. Support, Busio, Vulcan, Core JJ. I think Core JJ had his moments for sure, but Team Liquid in general still looked a little bit down. Busio's continued to be the future of this league in terms of its face of support. Love watching him play. Love seeing the moves that he's able to make and some of the creative picks that he's able to bust out. And Vulcan had a really, really good split. I don't think C9's bot lane in general was like dominant, like they weren't stopping lanes, but there were so many plays and team fights where Vulcan was the difference maker, and you got to reward that. Coaching staff of the split award I know has already gone to FlyQuest. That was my vote. It was FlyQuest, Cloud9, and then Shopify. Shopify felt like they overperformed some expectations. That's an impossible award for us to vote on from the outside in. You just take a guess at it and what your perception of like where expectations were for these rosters and where they ended up. And my MVP ballot was Inspired, Yawn, and Quid. When I said that controversy around ADC for why I would have Sven All-Pro 1, Yawn 2, but then Yawn MVP second over Quid. It's one of those ones where the number, like your stats and what you watch on the Rift are at odds with each other, because Sven had insane stats by part of being on an insane team relative to what TL did this split. And he was Mr. Consistent. It felt like he never faltered, barring a few times where he would overstep and get caught out. Felt like I had to reward that for All-Pro. But when I'm looking at MVP, when I'm looking at like these most valuable players, the players that if you take off this team, the team is just drastically worse in any way, shape, or form. It's like they're the sole reason that some of these teams are able to hit the highs that they are. It's these three players in particular. Like, these are the X factor players of the league right now. Inspired, I don't have to say anything. I'd be like, if anybody fights me on Inspired 1, I'd be genuinely shocked. For Yawn, he is the star, the face of Team Liquid. Does he put himself out of position at times? Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. It's North America. That stuff happens. But like, it is find Yawn a team. That's been the narrative for a while now for a damn good reason. And that's, we know that Yawn can carry these games, but when his team around him is running it down, there's nothing he can do. And even then, he's still making X factor plays. And then Quid, it's the same thing. Quid is the best mid laner in this league right now on a team that was slumping all split, and he still found ways to look absolutely incredible. Yeah, he's easily MVP worthy. I do believe there's a slight difference between MVP and All-Pro. Not much of one, but there is one to the point where I can adjust those ever so slightly. And the criteria for these awards has never been thoroughly flushed out by anybody. It's all subjective. That's how I personally interpret it. Feel free to disagree. Feel free to put in the comments if you think that I'm wrong on any individual area. Let me know. Happy to have the conversation around it. But that's my ballot. I like to be transparent with everybody. Like to have the conversation. I know there's been times in the past where people have really disagreed with some of my votes. I'd rather us have that disagreement in public than me just hide behind saying, yep, I voted. That's it. Let's kick it over to LTA Fantasy for the week to preview the two series that we got. It's Losers Bracket quarterfinals. Two teams are going home. Who are they going to be? I have not looked at my fantasy numbers at all this week, and honestly, I'm scared too, because I had faith that Team Liquid would still play well against C9, and they didn't. Oh god, it's going to be bad. But do me a favor, if you have not already join the Shy Knockers LTA fantasy group. It's for myself, my community, and everybody else around the Discord. The link is in our Discord. We're 95 strong as of right now. I'd love to hit 100 by the end of the split. And I know at least 100 people are watching this video, so do me a favor. Drop a like and join the Shy Knockers. But let's see. Oh, I've dropped even further to 35th. Oh, no. I'm over 230 points behind Beans at this point. I stand no chance at all. Oh my god, I'm so screwed. The only saving grace
is that technically I can keep everybody on my team. We got 44 points this past round. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm just shell shocked. I'm legitimately shell shocked that this happened. Like, can I even buy any? So I have to replace Masu. I don't have a choice because he's not playing. The good thing is I can immediately pick up FBI, which is great. We're going against B-Boy, so I think B-Boy is more likely to get the Vars than we are. It is going to be best of 5, so I think we'll get some interesting champions played. I think Ash is another good one that I really like FBI on if he gets the chance. He played it earlier in the split, and it went quite well, so I like the FBI pick there. Yuji, we got to get rid of the double jungle here. Like, the unfortunate reality is this ain't working. I have no ability to get anybody. Oh, God, this is not good. This might be the single biggest bust of a pick that I've ever had in fantasy. And now, like, I'm down to, 8 points? Like, I can only pick up contracts or Shaden, depending on who you believe is going to do better. Team Liquid's more likely to drop, I think. We'll give him the Viego, because why not? Oh, no, this is not good. Can I, you either have to go for APA or Quid. I don't have enough money to go for Quid at all. Do I have enough money to grab Sniper? Oh, I do, thank God. I'm getting rid of Impact. I'm sorry. I don't like it. Give me the Aurelia again, brother. I get it's quote-unquote troll. I'm going to keep picking it. I think it's great. Oh, it's 1.3 now? I only get 1.3 for picking Aurelia. That's some shit. Fine, I'll go with the Mbessa. Jesus, at least Mbessa's fun to watch. I don't care if she's been good. Well, and beyond that, I have 0.1. So I can't even, you could change out. No, you can't even replace Ayla for Core JJ. I'm just screwed. But I'm going to be real with you. This is probably going to be the most lopsided week of LTA North, which is wild considering that every match so far has been incredibly lopsided. But I don't see neither Dignitas nor Shopify Rebellion taking a game off of either one of these two teams. I think it is going to be absolute stomps all weekend, which is technically good as a 100th East fan. Nice, fine, but not really that great in the long run because it's just going to be a blasting. So really not much to preview on that front. Sorry.
And our final topic for today is going to be Disguised. I know they are making headlines right now as they're the only team to really be making public roster changes as they are eliminated from the split. And it's weird to talk about in a video that's hyping up the upcoming week. Actually, wait, speaking of that, don't forget we are doing a watch party here in New York City for Saturday series. If you want to come, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a good time. I don't think the series is going to be close, but that's fine. It's still a good time to come out, drink, and have fun with friends watching sports, or if you don't want to drink, just come out and watch League of Legends. It's fun. But Disguised are making headlines as they notably announced that Abadage is going to be leaving the roster. He had an Instagram story, I think it was last Thursday, something like that. That was last night in LA, and some people in my Discord were like, there's no way he's just baiting. And then the next day, we're parting ways with Abadage. And it's like, well, you ate that one, didn't you? Today's announcement, though, surprised people as Scary Jerry is going to be benched. We do not know who's currently replacing him. And the NACL community, for the most part, is up in arms right now. And I get why. Because Scary Jerry comes in, it's his first 2 splits. You have to give him time to develop. I agree, but here's the problem. Giving players time to develop is at odds with the situation that Disguised is currently in, which is they have 1 split to put together a roster that can guaranteed be better than the top team of NACL, of which I would say their team as it stands right now was not going to be able to do that. I still think that Scary Jerry deserves a chance in North America, and I think he will eventually get that. But let's not deny that he was underperforming relative to the other ADCs in this league. Does that mean that he's worse than some of the NACL players? No, not necessarily, but from the sounds of it, LCS Eevee baited out or tweeted out that a Korean flag and quote retweet this, so it sounds like they're importing, of which then, yeah, the conversation should be had of oh, is Disguised doing what they need to develop talent? No, maybe necessarily not, but that's not their focus. Their focus right now is to not lose their LTA slot, period. That's a lot of money that they would be losing by being relegated and having to work their way back up into this. So I get why fans of players are going to be upset at this. But if you're a fan of Disguised, you should be happy that your org is making moves to try and make sure that you not only stay in this league, but hopefully can build from there. I don't know who they're going to get. I don't know who, like, there's no rumors, there's no nothing out there, but we knew that Abadage needed change. Scary Jerry wasn't performing, so maybe you look at swapping him out. Castle, while not great, I think is fine. He'll be able to do enough to make sure that you stay in the league. XU, if you can find a proper mid laner for him, pair up with, I think, once again, I think you're fine. Even though he's going to have his errors, I still think it's better than the NACL. I think he would run like whatever team is coming up from there. And who he's the other one that I'm looking at, like maybe a change out, maybe. But I'm happy that they're making moves. And I just don't understand like this outrage of people being like, oh, orgs never developed town. Welcome back to promotion relegation. I know somebody tweeted out, was like, oh, but teams back then used to like ride it out and just stick it out. And it's like, and we hated the system for that because we could never keep consistent teams in the bottom as people would continuously get replaced. In this situation, like that's what you should be doing. That's what you should expect from bottom teams. If they have players that are underperforming, you want to see them make changes to try and stay in this league. They're in the advantageous position where people should want to come and play for them, even if it's for a single split. You possibly earn your chance back in that league. Now, could the org cut you in the offseason? Yeah, the org could technically do anything. Basically, all these guys, even though they have contracts, are employed at will. So, like, you're not safe as a player by any means. But promotion relegation is never going to be the thing for bottom teams that helps them grow young talent and invest in young talent, because their only priority is to keep the spot. Like, I don't get where this perception was. Like, I got that in the franchising era where it's like, you're not going to get relegated. Why are you not taking a chance on younger players and doing these things that might work out for your future long term? Sure. Promotion relegation, guess what? We're back to that old system where it's like, no, you're going to end up taking less chances. I mean, and the risk that you do take, they need to work out because that's a multi-million-dollar risk if it fails. So no, I don't get the flack currently on this, guys. We'll see what roster they put together and then have the conversation about whatever. How many times is the freaking dryer gonna go off? Holy crap. Anyways, I think I've said all I need to. My mom's trying to call me right now, so I better pick up this phone call. Thanks for watching this week's episode of The Pit. Be sure to come out to New York tomorrow for the series if you want to. Otherwise, enjoy some amazing League of Legends action. We got one more week of what I think is probably gonna be dud games until we get into the real bangers. See you then. Bye-bye.